I suppose the rise of GoFundMe and other crowdfunding platforms have been, meteoric in recent years, and largely positive, especially for families who might find themselves in the need of immediate support from events such as house fires. But, even with the most well-intentioned gesture, there's sometimes legal considerations that people might not take into account. Is there any risk that crowdfunding campaigns could affect people with regards to the insurance coverage that they can claim?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Gifts in law are not new. GoFundMe is relatively new, but gifts are not new, and GoFundMe effectively are just gifts. The real issue is whether or not there's been an insured loss. And so if you're insured, say, for the repair of your house, and then you get money from GoFundMe and then build a new house, the argument might be from the insurance company that there has been no loss because you've got your house back. So that's the real concern.
So there's an element of double dipping there, isn't there?
Yes, exactly. So the law doesn't like double dipping, but my view is that ultimately it's likely to come down on the side of GoFundMe rather than on insurance company. And by that I mean that there's still been an insured loss, even if you've used gifts to compensate yourself for those losses. I think what's more likely to happen is you're going to get a payout from the insurance company. But if there has been double dipping, then you probably need to give back the gifts because you've actually, the idea is that you won't profit from getting gifts and from your insurance payout.
Yeah, and given the nature of GoFundMe, and it is relatively new, and I suppose untested in a lot of ways in law. We had Celeste Barber with the I don't know if you're familiar with it. Yeah, the bushfire thing. So it is important to just be aware of the law when it comes to, and specificities of the law when it comes to gifts, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I think the issue is really to look at what the gifts are for. So you have to use the gifts for what they were for. You can't go and get them for your house and then go on a holiday with them instead. And similarly with your insurance policy, your insurance policy might cover you for repairing your house, might cover you for your furniture, might cover you for your emergency accommodation and so on. But there's lots of things it doesn't cover you for. So I'd be inclined to use the gifts for those things. Buy toys for the kids, or maybe go on a holiday, go on a spa treatment day. Maybe you deserve it after a house fire. But just use the gifts for the things they're intended for, and use the insurance for the thing it was intended for.
Right. Okay. It is end of financial year, and we're talking about taxes, etc. Is there if people are to receive gifts through GoFundMe, are they required to report them, to claim them?
Yeah, generally speaking, they're under the category of gift. So a gift is not generally taxable. So it's not income, not taxable income, because you didn't work for it. It's a present. If you give money to your children, they don't have to pay tax on it. And generally, it's not tax deductible as a charitable donation in GoFundMe, unless it's a registered charity that you're giving to, which you're normally not. You're just giving to individuals. So it's just the same as if you handed over $10 to your neighbour because they were having a hard time. GoFundMe is effectively like that. That's not a charitable donation, and it's not a tax deduction, so you can't claim it.
Right, okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, look, I've got plenty to go on there, Alex. Anything else that you'd like to add that I might have missed there?
Oh, no, look, I think that the general point is that the double dipping point, that you just got to make sure the law doesn't, the judges certainly don't like people profiting, if you like, from a tragedy. But the reality is people in these situations don't profit. There's a whole bunch of things a whole bunch of loss they suffer that will never be compensated. So I just use your GoFundMe for those things. Go and enjoy yourself with a bit of money, or spend some time with the children or something. Not double dip, not rebuild your house twice.
Yeah, I suppose that's another question too. I mean, look, I'm leery about using a real-world example, but there is one here that I'll just use as an example.
Sure.
A house heavily damaged with smoke damage. Their target was $6,000, and I think it's it is potentially it could go a lot higher than that with the money that they get. Does that raise an issue as well, because it is a significant amount of money that they can get.
Yes, well, that's right. But the smoke damage should be covered by insurance. So if they're insured, they should be able to get that paid regardless. And I think, the having to move out of the house and all of the various uninsured loss, maybe you lose your bedding and your blankets and all that, and they may or may not be covered by insurance. When these things happen, there's a whole bunch of suffering that people go through that I think I can understand GoFundMe can try and alleviate that suffering, and their heart's in the right place, and that's a great thing. But it's just a matter of using the money for that purpose, not for the purpose that's already insured.
And it brings me to the next question as well too. I mean, I guess there's no substitute for insurance, is there? I mean, there is a potential trap that people could fall into, thinking, well, I don't need to get insurance. I can just put a GoFundMe request and it should recoup losses. But yeah, no replacement for insurance.
No, that's right. So certainly GoFundMe, I mean, there are some very highly publicised examples of very successful GoFundMe campaigns, but there's plenty that you don't hear about that are very unsuccessful. And people who don't get a lot of media interest, or who don't have a kind of something that goes well in the headlines, so just regular loss that people suffer all the time, really insurance is the place to claim for that. And for things like your home, I mean, I think if you don't have your home insured, or your major possessions and things, then you're really taking a major risk. And I'm obviously a conservative insurance lawyer, so I'm pro-insurance. But I just think when you go through a tragedy like that, the last thing you want to be doing is trying to. There's enough worry and stress without having to actually find the money to rebuild your house.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Look, Alex, that's plenty for me. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it today. Thank you so much.
That's right. It's a pleasure. I'm glad I could help.